Who should be a part of your fix and flip dream team? If you've done a flip or two, your next goal is to scale. How are you going to find deals consistently time after time? What about finding contractors, funding, and others? I want to show you how I scaled my business by having reliable people that I can depend on to get deals done. First and foremost, I want to tell you the number one thing is a hard money lender. You've got to have a great hard money lender, and you've got to have a hard money lender that's willing to lend to you regardless of your circumstances, that really is a true hard money lender. Now, remember, the difference between a hard money lender and a soft money lender is a hard money lender is lending on the asset. It's not hard to get. It's actually really easy to get, but they're looking at the tangible hard asset, where if you go to a bank, they're looking at the soft assets, meaning your credit scores, your debt to income ratio, your propensity to repay, those types of things, where a hard money lender says, what's the property worth? 100, we'll lend you 70. Sounds good. You go to a traditional bank, you say, what's the property worth? You say 100, and they say, great, we'll give you 97 because we're going to do all these things to scrutinize it. And based upon that, we're going to buy insurance. So if you do default, we're not going to lose that much, which is why traditional banks can charge pretty low interest rates, is because somebody else is covering it if there is a default, if it's anything that's of significance. So that's one of the things. Having a good hard money lender, the hard money lender that will give you the purchase on the rehab if you find a good enough deal, is really important. Also, finding a hard money lender that will allow you to not make payments along the way, or to escrow those up front, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's another great way of doing this for a hard money lender. That's the very first thing you've got to do. Next, the next person you're going to want to have on your dream team is you are going to want to have a good title company or closing attorney. Now, that's really just going to come down to what state you're in and what that happens. But a closing attorney or a title company, closing attorneys still use a title company, but in certain states, title companies actually conduct the closing. In other states, there's an attorney that conducts the closing, and there's a title company that insures the title. But having a great title company is key. Here's the thing. You need to be able to call a title company or a closing attorney and say, I need a title report, and we need it really quick, and we need to close right away, that will bust it to make that happen for you. That's really big and will make a massive difference in your real estate investing. You're going to be there to buy it, you're going to be there to sell it, and so much more. Next thing you're going to need is a really good general contractor. A general contractor is going to be your lifeblood of making things done. If they can get the property done on time and on budget, you have an amazing general contractor. So to do this, what can you do to make sure you have this amazing general contractor? Well, you also need to make sure on your dream team you have some subcontractors, because the general contractor is going to be great to take care of things, but you're also going to need some people for systems. You're going to need an HVAC person. You're going to need a plumber that's going to be doing plumbing for you. You're going to need an electrician. You're going to need a roofer, and you're going to need to make sure electric, plumbing, HVAC, and roofing. Those are going to be the things you're going to need. And why do you want these rather than just calling the general contractor? Well, the general contractor is going to charge money to be there. Now, I like the type of general contractors that are going to go do the work or be on the job with their crew, and not the guys that are sitting behind an office. Those guys are typically a lot more expensive. But if I need a basic rehab, I'm going to call my HVAC guy to do the HVAC and not bring a full general contractors in. Which leads me to the other two subcontractors you really are going to want to have. And one is a flooring person. This flooring person is going to be willing to do carpet, going to do tile. You're going to buy it, they're going to install it, or one of their guys are going to install it. You need somebody that thinks like a real estate investor. Some of the great flooring guys I know have rolls of carpet they want to get rid of. If you think about it, they bring in a huge roll in, and they may say, I just say, what do you have that's a deal? What are you guys trying to get rid of? And if there's enough of it to do in my house and I like the color, I can usually get a pretty good deal on that. And that's going to save me a ton of money. So you're going to need a really good flooring guy that's going to help you out. They'll do the tile, they'll do the carpet. Next thing you're going to need is a good kitchen guy. Somebody that can do kitchens and countertops. That's a big deal. You need somebody who can go to the property, give you a 3D imaging of what the kitchen would look like. You also need somebody that does kitchens that can think out of the box. I'm not necessarily trying to do exactly what's there. I want to rip it out and make it better. I want more space. I want more usability. I want more function. That's what I'm looking for. And you need a kitchen guy that is actually going to do those things. Now, lots of times you can hire a general contractor and the general contractor will have relationships with all these people, but I think it's really wise that you have your own relationships with other people that are doing kitchen or doing flooring or HVAC, plumbing, electric, or roofing, because there are going to be situations where you just don't want to bring in a GC just to do all of it. Next one you're going to need to have a relationship with is an agent, okay? And I recommend working with agents when you sell the property. You don't necessarily need to use an agent when you buy a property. You could. You probably want to be going after direct to seller rather than going through an agent. It's just increasing the cost on the deal. But if an agent brought a great deal, be happy to make that happen as well. And that's your agent. Now, one that you could be using, it's questionable, but it's called a staging company. You can hire a staging company that'll bring in all the furniture to make the place look really great. Or you can just stage the property yourself. Now, what's staging? It makes it look like how someone would use the space. I've done this 3 different ways. I haven't staged it all. I have staged the property with a staging company, which can get pretty expensive. And I have also staged the property myself. Now, when I stage the property myself, what I'm doing is some basics. I have some of those big bins, and inside those bins, I have some inflatable mattresses. So I take an inflatable mattress, I put it on 2 of the big bins, and I put a comforter over it with a couple of pillows. So it looks like there's, it looks like where the bed would actually go. Then in the bathrooms, I'm gonna put some towels and some scents and that type of stuff. Inside the kitchen, we're gonna put some plates, that type of thing. Now you can hire a company to do that. You can do some of that yourself. Some people say you don't need to. Some people say you do. Depends on the market is really my answer, because if the market is really, really hot, you probably don't need to. If the market is not so hot, you probably do want to. So those are some things and some people that you really need to have great relationships with. Another person you need to have a great relationship is insurance. You are going to need to get hazard insurance. And this is a little tricky. It's not just like calling your local agent and saying, help me out. If you're doing fix and flips, you have to get vacant dwelling policies, and vacant dwellings are completely different than the house you actually live in. I learned this out the hard way. I was getting renters properties, didn't know that. And I had a property that I went and looked at about this time of the year. And guess what I found? The basement flooded. Now, why did it flood? Because some part under the kitchen sink broke. Flooded the basement. There is a foot of water downstairs. We got it cleaned up. We called the insurance, and the insurance denied the claim. Why'd they deny the claim? Because the property was vacant. It had been vacant for too long, and we had just a traditional renter's policy. If you think about it, the reason the insurance company's doing this is there's more risk if the property's vacant. That flood could go on for days or weeks before anybody ever gets over there and will do more damage. Whereas if it's inside my house, I'm probably gonna see that damage a lot faster, and there'll be less cost for the insurance company to actually do it. So your hard money lender is gonna require that you have a vacant dwelling policy, which means you're rehabbing it, nobody's living in the property. It's gonna be more expensive. You've got to have a great insurance guy that can help you out with this, and you're going to be using them on every single transaction you do. And if you're doing some of your rental properties, they're going to be doing those rental insurance policies as well. So I think those are the big ones that I want to have on my dream list. Do you have some others that are on your dream list and how you'd like to have them? Please type it in the comments and let me know. If there's anybody else you think I've forgotten, or other people that you have on your list that you think would be necessary to make fix and flips happen. Now, I have put together a video on how to easily scale from 1 flip per year to 10 flips per year. So if you watch this video, I'll put it on the screen. You can check it out. You're gonna wanna watch it now. It goes through how I learned how to scale my business, the one foundational skill to grow fast, what you need to know, and how many is possible when you're scaling the business and doing multiple deals in a year. Check out this video. You're gonna love it, and make it a profitable day.